and welcome back to my channel. I'm Nadia, the owner and maker of New Mom Spirits, and I'm here today with this beautiful, like, how do you call it? Like acrylic, I don't know, dripping? I mean, yeah, probably. Just thinking right now how to call this style. But yes, it's like milky acrylic style. Anyway, look at this gorgeous thing. Look at that, look at that. And then I'm going to share it with you right now, the entire tutorial. And if you would like to, you can purchase from me mostly all of the supplies that you will need to do this tumbler. Because if you didn't know, I'm a UK tumbler, glitter, and epoxy supplier. So you can get from me the tumbler, you can get from me the glitter and the epoxy. And you know already the acrylic paints and the vinyl are so easy to find from another kind of like huge big companies here in the UK. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and keep watching. I've never done this before. I watched multiple videos and let me show you the base where we are working. This is where we are working, okay? This step is done. I'm gonna talk while I'm sanding a little bit because it has few bumpies that I want to fix. It's a really old tumbler. So basically nearly over a year ago, not exaggerating, that's how long. By the way, this is my new hoodie. We have hoodies in stock, so if you want to have a personalized hoodie, just send me a message because we can help you with that. We have 5 different colors. So over a year ago, I was working on that design that you see over here. So I was working on this beauty, okay? And then what happened was that at some point you mess up with the glitter, okay? And when you mess up with the glitter, you're not gonna throw the glitter away. So I have a pot full of mess up glitter, okay? And then I was there working. I have these 30s already painted, dying, getting dusty. And I was like, what am I gonna do with you? What am I gonna do with you? And one day, going around my jars of glitter, I found this crazy mix. And I said to myself, oh, that looks pretty. That looks different. That looks original. And I basically decided to, I believe it was epoxy, because I was doing epoxy. So I epoxy this one and I basically put the glitter on. But then once it was done, I was like, okay, I love you, but I hate you at the same time. Like, I like how you look, but I don't know what to do with you. And then for so long, it's been dying on my shelf, looking at me saying, when are you gonna do something with me? Apparently that day has come. So I've been doing some research. I know a lot of the tumbler makers on the US have these kits that they are, how is it called, like a pour in acrylic or ready to pour or something like that. And then I was like, I'm sure that acrylic is just literally the same like what I have. And I have a lot of acrylic. I have 2 kids, okay? So yes, 2 toddlers that especially during the summer, we love to do a lot of acrylic paints in the garden. So I was like, I need to give it a try. And here I am. I'm so sorry I have to film on the nights. I don't like filming on the nights because it's really dark. Like, I have a house right now where it's really nice, the light during the day. But messy work, I like to do it during the nights when my toddlers are sleeping. If you're a mom, you have young kids, you know what I'm talking about. Because who want my kids touching the acrylic? Nobody. And if I let it be, it will be dry for tomorrow morning exactly. So that's gonna be perfect for me too. Continue working. So just literally tomorrow morning move what we are going to do right now to the turner and then epoxy. But anyway, I don't want to keep you here for so long, so let me finish with the little bit of sanding that I'm doing. I'm gonna wipe it off with a coffee filter and a little bit of 99% alcohol, and then I'm gonna move the camera down and we move to the acrylic process. I was going through with the sanding block. I realized that it was not gonna take everything away and keep it smooth, so I just went to the garage and used my sanding machine and went through it and give it all a good sanding. It hasn't been a really deep one, but now you can see it's way better. There's no as bumpy as they are. I'm using my coffee filters as always. I believe everything is in the description box down below. If not, I promise I will remember when I'm editing this video saying to myself, I have to go through the description box and make sure you have all of the link of everything. And I know I have to add the sanding machine because I have a new one and it's amazing compared with the normal one that I used to use before. I've got one last year from my sister for Christmas and it literally lasts me a year. If you go through a lot of sanding like as I do, and I could say I haven't been super busy, you will absolutely burn it. So you better get a good branded one and take advantage of Black Fridays and take advantage of any kind of sales that Amazon may have, like when it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, especially because that's more like father stuff. So yeah, take advantage of that and get a good sanding machine. I'm cleaning a little bit of this. This is kind of the jars that I use with my own kits, as I say before, to do the acrylic paints, but obviously I don't want it to be contaminated with any other color.
Okay, so the first thing that I use here, I took a plate. This plate I have it from parties from my kids' birthday, and I put the tumbler inside a paint can. You can use anything to just keep the tumbler higher, like away from the plate. Otherwise, it's just gonna mess up everything and it's gonna look weird. So it has to stay a tiny little bit away from everything. Okay, this was the first time I was doing this. The first thing I would suggest to do is that the way how you are putting it in the container is the way how you are going to see it on the tumbler the opposite way. So first of all, I shouldn't have mixed how I mix in there. To be honest with you, that was a big mistake. But as you will see, I put a lot of layers, so it's absolutely fine. And again, what I mean is, you saw that I put the pink first, so the pink will be the one on the top, and then the white that I put the last one, it will be in the bottom, if that makes any sense. So if you really want to go with a specific type of colors, remember that. And another thing is, like, don't use the torch, because if you use the torch will dry the acrylic paint, and we don't want the acrylic paint to be dry, we want it to be refined. So you need to use the heat gun. Okay, as you see, I mix a bunch of colors and then I actually like mixing it and then pour it, so it's just become this kind of like a nearly coral color. Yes, that was my mistake, but it's fine because after when I sand it and with the mixing of the colors, I have to say it looks really nice. So I did one last pouring, and then as you can see, once you do it once, you learn from the mistakes, and then you just keep going better and better. And then you can always take it from the plate and then again go through the what you have on your jar that you mix. Quick recap, don't mix it on the bowl, just put the colors one by one and then just pouring them on top of the tumbler. That's point number one. Point number two, you will need to leave it over 24 hours drying. That's another thing, because I found out if you let it less than that, is in some bits where it's a lot of paint, especially on the bottom, it's gonna still really wet. And this is how it looked when it was done.
We are done with this. You can see, okay, I made an accident there, but you can see how does it look. Okay, what I've done is, this was not like this. I took my sanding machine and really slowly, because obviously the paint was done. I believe I have a video and I haven't introduced it here, but I'm working on so many tumblers at the same time. Sometimes I don't remember what I filmed. But I went with the machine really slowly and I create all of this that you can see on the top. Like, I've done it on purpose. And once I put the epoxy, I don't know if you can appreciate it in camera. Can you see that dots? That is like the color. This one is because my tumbler full, but it's okay. I'm gonna put the decal in there, so that's gonna be covered, because actually this is the biggest space that I on purpose leave it to put the decal, because over here is not much space, as you can see, and this one I want to leave it like this because I love it. So again, as I say, I don't know if you can see those black dots. That actually happened when I put the epoxy, also around here, a little bit down there in the bottom. But I love it. I actually love it. And no, I didn't seal anything. I've done the acrylic how I showed it to you. And then at the next morning, once I make sure it was 100% dry, I went through the entire rhyme. All of this, I've done it with a sanding block. Sanding block, you can see it's all pinky. And then I've done all of that because I wanted all the glitter to be visible. And then this one, it was done, as I mentioned already, with the machine. Really slowly, what I've done is I use a really old patch. I always leave the pads that are really, really old for these sort of things, because those pads are not hard anymore. They are not really strong. They are not going to go too deep because you don't want to really touch the glitter, okay? You just want to stand up the skin. So what, stand up the color skin. Okay, fine, leave it. What I'm doing now is I'm taking the sanding block, my tumbler was there, and then literally fall and hit the wood, so obviously that cracked there. I'm taking my sanding block and I'm just going through it, and I'm just kind of like making sure it's as flat as possible. I don't want to go to this sanding machine because that's gonna be too much, and we don't want to do that. I'm gonna put a big decal. It says you melt my heart, so I'm kind of like, you melt my heart. That's the idea. So that's why I'm sanding on both the top and the bottom. You can put any decal you want. I'm gonna put a double vinyl. It's gonna be white on the background, and then on the top it's gonna be pink. I don't have a coral color, to be honest. I have orange. Why I like to do double vinyls is because actually whichever color you put on top is really enhance it, and then do this beautiful like 3D shape that I love. And I mean, obviously that bump is gonna be hard. You shouldn't have it, okay? I don't know. Sometimes happen. The harder you want to work in one design, the more you mess it up. It's fine. What can we do? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Print now my decal. I explain it in multiple of other videos. How do I do the double vinyl? You're gonna see it now how I do it, but I'm not gonna go in detail on how I cut it and all of those sort of things, because at the end of the day, it's just the machine. I use one of my programs, which I share one video. I'm gonna leave the video in the description down below, and I'm gonna try to leave it up here as well, so you can go and click and see which program that I use, how do I do, and all of that sort of thing. So let's move to the next step once we put the decals, the vinyls, and then we go again, and then we do another epoxy, and then we're done with the, let's redo our tumblers.